Hey everyone, Scott here, and it is sunny today. Perfect for talking about my AirPods Pro 2. I love these things. I've had these for about almost 2 years now, and the noise cancellation isn't really working anymore. I don't know if it's just a problem of my body failing on me and my ears, not being able to hold the AirPods anymore and not being able to make a tight connection, but I don't know, maybe it's hardware. And so basically what I'm trying to say is that these things aren't perfect. They sound great. I've got a lot to say about it, both good and bad, so let's just get into the pros and cons. I think the very first pro by far is the fact that these have been so much more reliable, so much more durable than the first generation of AirPods Pro that I had. As I said, I've had these for about 2 years now, and they still work perfectly. So just for the fact that I can have a pair of AirPods that I can depend on, that makes me happy, and that is by far one of the best things about the AirPods Pro 2, in my opinion. Second thing, or the second best thing about the AirPods Pro 2 is battery life. I can go hours on a single charge without having to put the earbuds back in the case to get a recharge. I can wear these on a 6-hour flight and get through most of the flight wearing these before the battery goes dead. And that's amazing. Before, with AirPods Pro 1, I couldn't do that, so it seems like they fixed all of the things in the first generation, and that's a good thing. Another good thing here is this little tethering side port here, where you can actually tie a tether to this thing, and you can tie it to whatever you want. I never use this, but I've seen a lot of people hook a string to this thing and then tie it to their backpack or whatever, so you don't lose the case. That's a really good thing. A con, of course, would be, well, I wouldn't say of course, but to me, the fact that this is all white. And I know it didn't really matter for the case, because the case was always put to the side, and then you actually wear the earbuds, and the case doesn't really get all that dirty and messed up. But for me, I don't know, you can see fingerprints and smudges, and I didn't like that. A major pro for me had to be build quality. Just overall, the way that this case works and the way that it feels, everything feels solid. Opening the lid like that is very satisfying, but not quite as satisfying as closing it. Listen, that sounds so good. After all these years, it's still clicky-clacky and it snaps tight, and that's really good. I also like the fact that the earbuds will not fall out. The magnets are tight. Even if you accidentally leave the case open like this, they're not going to fall out. That's really good. Really, really good. And again, a con here, as you're seeing, I'll pull the earbuds out here in a moment and talk about them individually, but being all white like this, you can already see the staining from the grease and the wax and the sweat from my ears. This is about 2 years worth of use right here, and trust me, it's going to get worse as soon as I pull these things out. But being all white like that is, you're going to see everything, and it's gross. But yeah, in regards to the case, it's great. Battery life for the case is a good thing too, because I only had to charge it for maybe once a week, and I use these AirPods at least 2 hours a day, every day. And so the battery life on the case is really, really good. Okay, so for the actual earbuds themselves, a con would be how delicate they are. I don't know if you can see this, maybe if it'll focus, but it's cracked. Both of them are cracked here at the base. And this was a problem that I had with the first generation AirPods Pro. And I don't know, they didn't really seem to fix that. But I will say that this crack doesn't really affect the sound quality at all. I mean, it's it still sounds good. All the buttons down here on the stem, or the button, or the haptic press, or whatever that is here on the stem, still works. I can still interact with my music, and I can control my music and podcast with the stem button here, no problem. So, but it's just cracked, and so that's not a good thing. A con would be, well, I gotta say, the noise cancellation doesn't work anymore. It worked great for the first year or so. Noise cancellation was very strong, but after about the first year, it started degrading a bit, and it does still work now, but it is almost not working, and it's to the point where it's like wearing a regular pair of AirPods without the noise cancellation. And I'm wondering if it's because of these silicone tips. I wonder if they've degraded somehow and they're not sealing as tight. Well, I know they're not sealing as tight in my ear. Maybe my ear has gotten bigger as I get older, or maybe these silicone tips just aren't holding up as well. I mean, they feel okay. They're all yellow and nasty and greasy, so maybe that's part of the problem. But overall, I gotta say the build quality of these earbuds, not so good. A major con, at least for me, is how tightly these things fit. Like if I put this thing in my ear and I bend over, well, it's not gonna fall out now, but a lot of times, if I don't get this thing seated properly, if I just bend over, it'll fall out. And as a matter of fact, the other day I was walking out to my car. These were in my ear and I had my hands full of, I was taking the garbage out to the dumpster. I was walking past a car. This thing fell out on its own and it rolled under a car that was parked on the side of the road and I couldn't reach it. So I had to grab a stick and get it out. So the fact that these things will not stay in my ear most of the time is, it's not good. Another pro, by far, is the way that these things sound. Bass is deep, the highs are pretty high, but you know, it's not, I know there's a lot of people who are audio snobs who say, oh, these things suck, they sound terrible, but for me, I have absolutely no issues with sound quality. I listen to rap, metal, country, classical, everything you can possibly think of, and for all genres, it sounds good. Maybe actually not so much for classical, it just doesn't sound as clear to me for some reason, but everything else, bass is really heavy, deep, rich, which when you think about it is pretty amazing for such a small little earbud. Overall, there are far more pros than cons for the AirPods Pro 2, hence the name. It is indeed pro in more ways than one. I love these things. I depend on these things. I use them every day. And this version has held up magnificently. Lightning port, I guess that's a con. In this day and age, it's nice to have USB-C, and thankfully, the later versions of the AirPods Pro have USB-C now. This one did not. It's still lightning port, so that's not all that great. But I'm happy with these. These have lived up to my expectations. If they died today, I'd run out, I'd get a new pair. These things are awesome. AirPods Pro 2, awesome, awesome, awesome.